Happy 4th of July for all who celebrate. And on our nation's national holiday, our nation's birthday, I wanted to reflect on what being an American means to me. America is a lovely place. I remember when I was younger, my neighbor, the dad was a cop. And I remember going over to their house, going to their pool and swimming. I remember one time, my friend and I, when the dad wasn't looking, he was out smoking cigarettes in the front yard. We decided to drink some beer. And, as kids do after they drink their first glass of beer, we were playing around the pool and I fell in. And while I fell in, I was a little, I wasn't in the right headspace. And while I was drowning in the pool, I decided to doggy paddle my way out to freedom because even tipsy, I still have the will to live. Being an American means to me taking your 5-year-old kid to get tested for ADHD, and then the psychologist recommends him to take Adderall, which is legalized methamphetamines, and that is how I passed grade school. Being an American means to me that I'm the only black kid in class, and my teacher has to remind how diverse I am and how much diversity I bring to the school, even though she voted for Trump both times. Being an American means to me that for Thanksgiving, we don't just eat a turkey, we eat a turducken. And for those who don't know, that's a turkey that's stuffed with a duck stuffed inside of it, and then a chicken that's stuffed in the duck. Being an American means to me, means I have immigrant parents that came here 32 years ago to have a better life. And instead of staying here for the rest of their life, realizing that their US dollars go farther in Uganda and wanting to go back to Africa, because that's the final stage of the American dream. Being an American means to me, I go to a Christian school where we preach Christianity, and when you go to the bathroom, the kids vape because the bathroom is filled with the Holy Spirit. Being an American means to me that my uncle would tell me when I was younger that his parents, whenever he misbehaved, instead of punishing him the normal way, you know what they would do? They would make him eat lard from White Castle because that would set him straight. Even though he had diabetes, they still made him eat the lard. Being American means to me when you go to college and, you're still taking those ADHD medicine and you realize that there's some market value, so your friend wants to stay up all night, pull an all-nighter, not to study for a test, but so that he has the energy to hook up with the girl at the club. So you know what he does? He buys the Adderall off you, and instead of you taking the moral stance, you use that money that you sold your Adderall to from your friend, you use it to pay off your student loan. Being American means to me that you voted for Donald Trump because you believed in making America great again. Even though in college, you exclusively hooked up with Latina girls, but you did it for democracy. You did it for democracy. Being an American means to me that every 4 years, you go and vote, and you always tell people at the dinner table, you chose the lesser of two evils because you just didn't have a choice. But then, when your grandmother gets a cancer diagnosis, the doctor walks up to you and says, "It's okay. The cancer diagnosis is the lesser of two evils. At least she doesn't have heart disease." Being an American means to me that you believe that when we went to Iraq and Afghanistan, we were spreading democracy to those lands because boy oh boy did they need it, And boy oh boy did they receive it. The Taliban definitely needs some lessons in civility from Americans. America is a place where you go to college, you join the Black Student Union, you try to embrace your black identity. And then a gay black man walks up to you, calls you a white supremacist, all because you're from Dallas, Texas, even though you have no choice where your father gets a job and the zip code you grew up in, but you get judged in college for those very things, even though you get judged for things you can't control. America is a place where in college to save money on rent and you forget to sign up for off-campus housing. Oh no, what are you gonna do? You forget to sign up for off-campus housing. So you end up finding an apartment in a Hispanic neighborhood where you're the only one that speaks English when you go to the grocery store. And when you're walking on the street, people walk up to you. And in Spanish, they ask, "To Nigeria? Are you Nigerian?" And after the 10th time, you say, "Sí, soy Niger." I am Nigerian because that's the only country in Africa. America is a place where every American girl ghosts and denies you and rejects you. But then an immigrant girl, a girl from a different country, goes out with you, is your girlfriend, and you guys start dating. But she's on a visa, and your friends always ask, "Is she with you for the green card?" And at some point, you stop caring because at least you receive love and affection, even if it's only transactional. America is a place where you work flipping burgers and you're just talking to a customer and you're asking your customer about the dog, and the dog is just so beautiful, it's so fun to play with, and instead of the customer responding with care, love, joy, the customer says, "No, you monkey," when asking about your dog, and your other coworker, who's also black, laughs with the customer. And you're just there wondering, what did I do wrong? America's a place where you work for a real estate company. You work for a real estate, a place that is supposed to house people. And within this real estate company, the real estate company happens to be in Austin, Texas, where there's an influx of homeless people. And even though your company is supposed to help house people, it actively hurts them by distorting the real estate market and prolonging the problems in which you're trying to solve. America is a place where you advocate for human rights, equality of others, progressivism, even though you're probably watching this on your laptop, an Apple laptop or your iPhone, and you're probably wearing Nike shoes, all built by slave labor. And if you're an Adidas person, that was founded by Nazis. America is a place where, 9/11 is terrible. But it's okay because they're already thinking of the sequel, 9/12. America is a place where your girlfriend is protesting for Palestine because she is pro-Palestine, while you work at Goldman Sachs and make hundreds of thousands of dollars, where your tax dollars go towards Israel. And she rejected the other guys because they didn't make enough money, but accepts you even though you're actively giving money to Israel. But remember, she is pro-Palestine because it's only your tax dollars, not your vote. America is a place where, Hollywood executives are hiring children for children's movies, and they're just, and then the news breaks out that they're having relations with these children. And as a response to, protect children and advocate and keep children safe, you decide to continue watching Disney movies, continue watching Pixar movies, and whatever these big big studios release because you just can't get enough of Up. You love The Incredibles. Toy Story 5 is necessary. We need Inside Out 3, so who cares what happens to the children? I remember my father, whenever we would go grocery shopping or go anywhere and there wasn't enough parking, instead of waiting for a spot, he would park half a mile and make us walk, because even though in the 100-degree Texas heat, he always would tell me, Caleb, you will not collapse. America's a place full of beauty, full of wonder, but it's also full of psychopaths and narcissists, where people believe that they will find love on a national television by making out with strangers. People believe that they can pay off their mortgage by auditioning and going on America's Got Talent, because that's the way to success. I'm going to end on what my mother would tell me when I was younger. My mom told me that most people are average, and that, you know, Caleb, you're most people, and you'll be average too. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy your Independence Day. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked, please like and subscribe. We'll be, socials will be linked down below and at the end of this video. Road to 500. Hope you enjoy America's holiday the American way. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.